Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven, let heaven and nature, heaven and nature sing. Everybody say joy. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing. Go and tell it. Tell of his glory. That a Savior is born. Let heaven, heaven, heaven and nature sing joy. Oh, let earth receive her King. Let fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains repeat the sounding joy. Go and tell it, tell of his glory, that a Savior is born. Heaven, 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 heaven and nature sing joy to the world, for the Savior reigns and makes his blessings flow. Joyful, all ye nations arise, join the triumph of the skies. With angelic hosts proclaim, glory to the King, while the angels sing. Joy, 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 joy. And tell it, let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. You gotta tell it. Tell of his glory. That a Savior is born. Heaven, 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 heaven and nature sing joy. Oh, sing joy. Oh, yeah. Everybody sing joy. Joy, 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 joy. All over the world, yeah. Oh, sing joy. Yeah. Everybody sing joy. Joy, 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 joy. Hey, you gotta sing joy. Yeah, yeah. Everybody sing joy. Oh, sing joy. Oh, you gotta sing joy. Oh, yeah, sing joy. Oh, everybody sing joy. Joy to the world. Sing joy, 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 peace, love, joy. He'll give you everything you need, and all you gotta sing is joy. Sing joy, 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 joy. Sing joy to the world. Sing joy, yeah, sing joy. Hey, to the world, yeah. Everybody sing joy. Sing joy to the world. Sing joy. You better sing joy. Oh,
Good evening, everybody. Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas. This is our Christmas Eve celebration service. We'll be having a candle lighting. We're so glad that you're here with us today in this very surprising year, filled with twists and turns. At our very last minute, we had to go completely all virtual. So all of you are out there watching us today. I want to give a shout out to my friends at Unity of the Bay in Miami, Florida, my friend Chris Jackson and his team, and Juan and everybody there put together that joyous Joy to the World. And thank you to Susan here and our music team for partnering, I guess, if we can say, to allow us to start with that opening video. If you are watching us live, and obviously you are watching us, if you're watching us live or watching us on the recording, we would love to know that you're here. We want to really be engaged with you this evening. We've created a very special service. The good news is we were creating a service for a lot of virtual people anyway, so, but type in the chat or type in the comment if you want to know anything about Unity Church of the Hills, type the word connect. We've got people who are monitoring our Facebook feed tonight. And we want to know where you're watching from. And if you're from Unity Church of the Hills in Austin, Texas, let us know, member or congregant or attendee here. And if you're somewhere else in all the world, we'd love to know where you are from. And if you would be so kind, because this is an engagement service, what is your most favorite thing about Christmas Eve and Christmas Day? You could say the whole season, but I'm asking really about Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. What is your most favorite thing? So go ahead and type that in the chat. Later on tonight, I'm actually going to go through personally and respond to all your comments. So we would love for you to be engaged with us. Logistics tonight, we are going to have some beautiful music. We're going to have a brilliant, if I do say so myself, story. We're actually going to do a candle lighting service, and we're going to recognize that new consciousness, the birth of a new consciousness that is being birthed this evening. So if you are a member at Unity Church of the Hills, you likely got a goodie bag delivered to your house. If you did, go grab that bag, grab the candle out of it, and the little round thing that you go, what is this? You want that tonight? We're going to be using that tonight. If you did not get a goodie bag, then grab a candle. And if you have one, a hand mirror, something a little compact, a little hand mirror. Grab those two things as we get started this evening. I invite Tammy and Joni up to light our Advent candle. Thank you for that. Thank you so very much. Our Advent wreath or Advent candles represent the 4 Sundays of Advent: hope, peace, joy, love, and of course tonight, the Christ light. So let's begin with an opening prayer. Take a moment and settle in. As you close your outer eyes, let your body just go, for this moment, I'm done rushing. For this moment, I'm done with the busyness. For this moment, I gift myself the awareness and the spaciousness in which to experience Christmas Eve, the birth of a new consciousness. Take one more deep breath in, and as you exhale, just let go. And relax. For this next period of time, let your body become still, let your mind open, let your heart open as we witness, as we experience the birth of a new consciousness. And so it is, and so we let it be. Please welcome our celebration music team.
Mountains and valleys that led them each night, the star of most radiant light. 3 wise men rejoiced as they journeyed afar to behold such a beautiful star. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with great joy. When they saw the star, they rejoiced. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with great joy. They rejoiced with exceeding great joy. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with great joy. When they saw the star, they rejoiced. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with great joy. They rejoiced with exceeding great joy. They saw the star, but they followed it not. To them it would come and would pass. The wise men keep trusting with all of their hearts that the star would find the baby at last. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with great joy. When they saw the star, they rejoiced. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with great joy. They rejoiced with exceeding great joy. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with great joy. When they saw the star, they rejoiced. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with great joy. Rejoiced with exceeding great joy. Great joy. On the star, they rejoiced with great joy. When they saw the star, they rejoiced. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with great joy. They rejoiced with exceeding great joy. Great joy. They rejoiced with exceeding great joy.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you, Tom and John and Susan. Rejoice with exceeding great joy. I'm over there on the side dancing. I know you can't see me dancing. I'm got my mask on and everything. We're totally appropriate here in the building tonight. I want to just give a shout out to our music team, to Susan and John and Tom who are here, and our we had a little applause going from the production team, which was next out of my mouth, the production team up on the cameras and the sound, and Tammy and Joni, and that's it in the entire building. So it's just weird, right? I mean, this is a service where we have hundreds of people, so I hope you're there, and give us some loving, because, you know, it's just, you know, as we're giving you some loving, but we're really here in service to you tonight. And so we're moving into a time that I like to call ritual and ceremony. And so because we're doing ritual and ceremony, we're going to take a time of offering at this moment. Obviously, we're not passing the basket or anything, but I want to just say a little bit about ritual. Ritual is something that is super powerful, and it can be simple, it can be elaborate, but it's always transformational. The thing about ritual is we move out of our heads and into our hearts. It helps us connect with that which is within us and greater than us, connect with our community. So even though we're not in the same room, we're connecting through ritual. And so I invite you to just put on the eyes of wonderment, to step into a moment that is ritual and ceremony. What we know about ceremony is it just really allows us to get out of our heads, into our hearts. And the potential of being transformed is greater when you're not in your head. So we allow the transformation mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually tonight, this Christmas Eve night. So we do have many ways that you can give to Unity Church of the Hills. We invite you to give generously, just as you would if you were in the building. You can text us. You can donate online. We have an app, UCOH app. You can mail us a check. Offices are completely closed until at least January 4th, so those are the 4 ways. And as you do so, we invite you to give generously, whether this is your spiritual home, or you're doing an end of the year giving, or you've been moved tonight, or you want to see more of the spiritual good that Unity Church of the Hills gives. Our offering statement for tonight, it should be on your screen. And I want you to not only say it with me, I want you to really feel it. With a grateful heart, I give freely and receive abundantly. Let's do it one more time. With a grateful heart, I give freely and receive abundantly. And with that, hopefully you've grabbed your candle and your compact or your mirror. We begin to really move into ceremony. We begin to really move into ritual, begin to really open our hearts with an instrumental by John and Susan of Mary Did You Know? it's such a moving song. I thought when Susan goes, we're going to do an instrumental, I'm like, I like the words, but I'm like, that was so beautiful. Just as earlier on, I'm over here dancing, now I'm over here crying. I'm like, But I want to really use Mary and tell Mary's story tonight, maybe in a way that you haven't heard it before. Or even if you have, maybe you can hear it with new ears tonight. This has been a crazy year. It has been a crazy year. I have a whole string of adjectives, but the only one I can say because I'm mic'd is crazy. So Mary, imagine Mary, she's a young woman. And I don't know if you normally think of Mary this way. She is tired. She is cranky. She has just walked for days on end. She is great with child. Those of you who have birthed child know those last few weeks and days and hours are not comfortable. Now, granted, she didn't have to walk the whole way because she got to ride a donkey. And they walked, and she knew that she was given a divine idea. She knew she was given this gift from God, but right in this moment, it didn't feel like it. Right in this moment, all she wants is to get off that donkey, get off her feet, and get a good night's sleep. But there's no room for them at the inn. There's not a bed to be found. Put yourself in Mary's shoes, or sandals, or flip-flops. And finally, Joseph finds them a stable, and they can go into the stable, and at least the wind isn't blowing in the stable. And she gets off her feet, and she lays down, and she's like, this is not a good idea. I am not happy. I am not even in a Merry Christmas spirit. Now, hopefully you grabbed a laugh on that. You know, this emptier room is a little weird. I want you to laugh. I want to hear you laughing about that. Like Mary knew about Christmas, right? Yeah, no, it wasn't happening. But I just want to be home. I just want a hot shower, and I just want to be with my family. Now, you might relate to that. You just want to be with your family, your Unity Church of the Hills family, your physical family, your biological your family that's across the city or across the continent or across the globe. We're cranky, we're tired, we're weary. We might even be in despair over what life looks like right now. But maybe Mary was too. And then labor started. And the pain gripped her in the way that labor pains grip you. And she's like, no, not now. Right? As much as she'd been like, come on, baby. No, not now. I don't, seriously here? In a stable? This is supposed to be our Messiah, our King. I have been ordained by God to birth this amazing being, and here I am in a stable. Can you hear the weeping? Can you feel the gnashing of teeth? Can you feel the arguing with the great grand spirit that we call God? I don't want to do this. And yet, she did what she had to do. And Joseph was standing there with her. He was wonderful through it all. She wasn't that happy. So as she's in that labor pain, as she's in that journey of labor, she's thinking back some 9 months ago, and she was just a little kid then, a 13-year-old young girl. And the angel appears to her, and the angel says, and let me quote because we have to do scripture because it's Christmas Eve. The angel says to Mary, "Greetings, favored one. The Lord is with you. Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God. And now you will conceive in your womb and bear a son. He will be great, and he will be called the Son of the Most High." And she was afraid. And yet she recognized that call, and she said, "Yes, I will do it." And she went to her fiancé, Joseph. And she said, guess what? We're having a baby." And he said, "I don't think so." For he was afraid. And he made plans to sort of, take care of her and put her away, because you couldn't have a baby without being married. And obviously it wasn't his baby, so he didn't understand this child of God. But he said, "I'm going to sleep on it," because he was a wise man. And he slept on it, and he had a dream. And in that dream, an angel of the Lord appeared to him. And he said, "Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for the child conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will bear a son, and you will name him Jesus." And she's in memory of these as she's in labor. And the pains come, and they get closer together and closer together. And at last, finally, at the point of exhaustion, the baby is born. And in that moment, Mary wept. Not out of despair or exhaustion or pain any longer, but wept because she birthed this babe and she knew it was special. And Joseph wept for the miracle he just witnessed and was part of it. And a star shone in the sky, a huge star, the Star of Bethlehem. It looked like it was pointing right down to that very stable. And the angels came. The angels came to the shepherds out on the hills. The angels are singing, "Glory to God in the highest, and peace on earth, goodwill to men." And the angel says to the shepherd, "Do not be afraid." Are you catching a theme here? Do not be afraid, for you see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace among all those he favors." The star, the angels, the shepherd, the wise men, the animals, the little drummer boy, all appear to celebrate this birth. This birth some 2,000 years ago, that Mary, an innocent young child, not only was witness to, but part of. Feel the power of that moment. It was so powerful, we celebrated it for some 2,000 years now. But fast forward all the way up to December of 2019, 1 year ago. December of 2019, we're looking forward to 2020. We're like, it's going to be a fabulous year. We're going to get all of our dreams. We're going to awaken to the truth of who we are. This is it. This is the time. 2020 years later, finally we are going to do it. And did we do it? Well, we've had lots of opportunity, haven't we? 2019, the end of 2019, I remember with my consciousness group, my consciousness buddies, and we're aware of the fires that are burning up in Australia, burning the continent almost, and they wouldn't end. That was in December. And then we have this glorious, yay, 2020, we're here, yes. And then January comes and there's this really strange virus over there in China, but we don't worry about that too much. It's on the other side of the world. Now, my husband and I, we were traveling, so we were watching many people on masks. Anybody who was the least bit Asian had masks, and I'm like, oh, that's sort of interesting. And then February comes, and this thing called coronavirus is now like everybody's talking about it. And then March comes, and like all of a sudden, the United States of America is being impacted, and we're shut down. It's like, oh, well, we can do a couple of months. Now, it wasn't like we didn't whine about it, but we can do a couple of months. By summer, it'll be fine, right? Excuse me. Summer came and went. By fall, we'll be fine. Fall came and went. By December, we'll be fine. By the end of 2019, or 2020, by the end of 2020, everything will be great and grand. And here we are, shut down again. It's been a year. It's been a really, really strange and complicated year. It's been one of the strangest years I've ever had. But if we put ourselves in Mary's story, if we can find ourselves in Mary's story, can you find yourself in Mary's story? And can you find Mary's story in your story? So I would love to know, type in the comments, in the chat, wherever you are, type in there, what is the, I was going to say, what's the hardest thing? What was the biggest, hardest thing? If you don't want to put that, just go, I know what my hardest thing was, because this is public and everything else. I don't want to, expose you, but I want you to, feel how hard it's been and how hard it continues to be. And at the end of that day, Mary was celebrating. Mary was realizing that the birth of this child was not the end, but the beginning. Right now, the stars are aligned, the planets are aligned. We are ready. We are birthing a new consciousness. We are doing it right here and right now. What if this is the night? What if this is the week? What if this is the year that we actually make it out of the birth canal? It feels like we've been in the birth canal for a long time. What if we make it out of the birth canal into a new dimension of consciousness, which is what Jesus came, love and kindness and compassion? What if that's what's happening right now? And you can pay attention to all the hard things. And if you're in a hard thing, just feel our care, feel our compassion, feel our love. Ours, mine, ours, Unity Church of the Hills, for you. And at the same time, know that as hard as it is, Mary's labor was equally hard. Well, we won't compare. Mary's labor was also hard. And so as we fast forward and open to the possibility that this is our moment, and not only that this is our moment, but that we get to choose if this is our moment. We get to choose, and we have to choose. We can choose to stay in the old, or we can choose to pivot to the new. We can choose to be moved by the transformation that's happening on the planet right now. We can be choosing to awaken and to be reacting and to being the love that we seek so desperately, the compassion that we yearn for, the kindness that we only wish was more visible in the world. We can choose to be it now because we are the ones. 2,000 years ago, Jesus, the babe, was born. Jesus is the light of the world. Jesus was born to be the light of the world. And he said to us, you are the light of the world. And so let us become willing to be that light, to awaken, to ignite, to allow that light that is within us to shine ever so brightly. And we do that with another song from Celebration called Jesus, the Light of the World.
The herald angels sing, Jesus, the light of the world. So sing glory to the newborn King. We are the light of the world. In the light, beautiful light, come where the dewdrops of mercy shine bright, shine all around us by day and by night. We are the light of the world. No need to worry, no need to fret. All of my needs through God has been met. God's love protects me from hurt and from harm. We are the light of the world. We are the light of the world.
Thank you. Once again, beautiful. We are, you are. We are the light of the world. We are born to make manifest the glory of God. We are born to be a gift onto this planet. And we are alive right here and right now because it's time. And those of us in Unity and New Thought, we already have the belief system. We already know that that light is within us. That we are, make manifest the glory of God in this moment, in this lifetime. And so we're going to move into a time of meditation. And as we do so, I'm going to read a bit of a story in our meditation once we settle in. And then just to give you a heads up, I'm going to move down and light my Christ candle, and I'm going to gaze into the eyes of the Christ that is being birthed tonight, to gaze into the eyes of the consciousness that is being birthed tonight. After I do that, the team will start Silent Night, and then we'll invite you to light your own candle and to pull out your own compact, your own little compact, or your mirror, whatever you have with you. But I had to tell you because you're not here, so I had to tell you ahead of time, but we're going to move into that really in sacred process. So let's take this time, coming back into the beauty of the song. Jesus is the light of the world. You are the light of the world. Do we take a moment to really step or drop into your heart space, meaning let go of your mind for the moment and land in your being. and discover that this is a sacred moment. And just as we've heard Mary's story, and just as we wove it into your own story, become aware, stay aware of how this story, these stories are related to you. The story is adapted by Patricia and Stanley Walsh Haluska. I adapted their story. With your eyes closed and your heart open, feel yourself landing in the very center of your heart, sitting ready for this one more story. From the very beginning of time, there was a promise and a hope. There would be one who would come, who would show the way, who would be a light in the darkness, who would be one inseparable from the Creator, and by their very being would express the truth of human existence. It had been prophesied from times of old that there would be a child, a consciousness born that would rightfully inherit creation. One who by their very nature would bring peace, balance, harmony, tranquility, and serenity to this world and all whom they encountered. The world yearned for their coming, the birth of a consciousness, the fulfilled promise. Wise men foretold and saw signs in the heavens, for indeed it was come to pass that a consciousness would be born, a holy consciousness, filled with knowing, filled with love and understanding. One by whom their very nature would bring peace, love, and by their very existence would bring understanding of who they truly are and where they truly dwell. The world, and indeed the heavens, yearned for the birth of this consciousness. For the universe would not be complete, nor would ever be the same again. So it came to pass in the perfection and fulfillment of time that this child consciousness was brought forth into the world. This child was announced by the angel of heavens that the fulfilled promise had come, for God had become humanity. A new star appeared in the heavens, for a great soul, a master, had been born into this world. Then, in the innocence and the wonderment of this new experience, you took your very first breath. Take a moment to feel it and to gaze into the eyes of this consciousness birthed in this moment. Take your mirror and look deeply into your own eyes. See the light of the world. See the innocence of a new consciousness. See the wonder of a newborn. as I gaze into the eyes of the Christ consciousness being born this evening. If your candle is lit, raise it up and we take a moment and look at your own flame. In a normal year, we would have this room darkened and filled with light, but we know that it is filled with light, that your heart is filled with light, that your candle represents the light that you are. Say with me, I am the light of the world. I birth a new consciousness, and it is good. And it is really, really good. Take it into your heart. Blow out your candle, unless you want to leave your candle burning. You are the light of the world. Tonight, this night, this year, we birth a new consciousness. We birth a consciousness that is love, that is joy, that is peace, that is caring and compassion and innovation and creativity and beauty. We have a choice. There is a new consciousness that is being born. So you have a choice. You can turn. You can be a part of the old. The global pandemic, the restriction of movement, the music, people dying, the economy's threatened, all of that stuff. And in this moment, we can choose again. We can choose to be that growing sense of communion in the world. It's already happening. There's a love of life. There's a love of nature and on the world. There is an ability to create magic and, yes, even miracles. We choose that. We allow the birth of that new consciousness tonight. I hope you join us. And from our hearts to yours and our home to yours, we behold all things good. We feel the good. We feel the hope and the joy that is bubbling up within us this night and always. And we close with a benediction from James Dillett Freeman. May there always be room in your heart for divinity to find a birthing place. May you be holy as the angels were, faithful as the shepherds were, humble as the cattle were, wise as wise men were. May you have the compassion Mary had and the understanding Joseph had. And may the blessing of the Christ child be yours, not because of his birthright so long ago, but because his love is born and birthed in you today. God bless you. We wish you a very, very Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
God bless you all. We'll see you on Sunday. Mwah. Good night, everyone.